Hello, and welcome to our free Healthy Living Strongcast. I'm Dr. Donald Strong from Strong Health and Wellness. Thank you for joining us today. The primary goal of this podcast is to provide a service to our customers, past, present, and future, to help them maintain a healthy lifestyle. This week, we're going to explore what it's like to join Strong Health and Wellness family. And although we are technically a medical office, we pay special attention to the person behind the medical numbers. We understand that taking this first step is critical, but can also be somewhat daunting. Let's be honest, most of us dread visiting the doctor. I know I do. So our goal with this podcast is to hopefully demystify our process and put your mind at ease. We recognize that we are all on our own personal journeys here, and that these journeys start with a single step. So what's it like to work with us here at Strong Health and Wellness? I am pleased to introduce you to one of our newest members of the Strong Health and Wellness family, Brent. Brent has agreed to join us to talk with us about his experiences and to share his journey. So Brent, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you started with us?
Well, I've ever since high school, and I stopped playing in sports, regularly. I've been steadily and agonizingly gaining weight, and I've tried different diets like low carb, Atkins, and then the problem with that is as soon as you're done with it and you feel like you've done what you want, then all the bad habits kick in again.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm 43 and I've topped 300 pounds for the first time ever, and I decided that I needed some more help other than what I can just do on my own.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that with us. So what questions do you have for me on our podcast?
Well, first what are the dangers of obesity, and what is the best first step to getting healthy again?
Well, the dangers of obesity really aren't apparent first off. But over the long term, we can have problems as far as predisposing to high blood pressure, diabetes, certain cancers even because of obesity. And those can build up over time and creep up on you. So it's not suddenly you have all of these, it's that they start slowly and increase. There's also other parts of obesity that aren't metabolic, and that's more due to just immobility, difficulty moving, and more strain on the joints that lead to both hip and knee replacement surgeries. So those are some of the dangers of obesity and things that we're trying to avoid by getting people to a healthy weight, and more importantly, trying to prevent people when they're younger from gaining the weight and having the difficulties long term in trying to lose weight and keep it off. Now, the first steps you can do, it's really up to you as far as how to start. You can start by just taking the long way, parking further away, taking the stairs instead of elevators, just short little things. And making a commitment to yourself, saying, this is what I need to do for myself to prevent myself from having those long-term problems. You have to do it for yourself. I personally took a long time saying, yes, I need to do this, that, the other thing, but it wasn't until I just decided one day that was it, that I started on my journey of losing weight and becoming healthier.
And you look fantastic.
I appreciate that.
So you started me on a 1,600 calorie diet, staying under 60 grams of carbs, and you wanted me to exercise more. What would be the ideal number of times to exercise in a given week?
Well, the ideal number to exercise is basically based on what you've been doing already. So if you come from no exercise at all, what I tell people to do is start with 1 to 2 times a week. Schedule it on the weekends, 10 minutes at a time. You don't have to do much. Just get out and do more than what you have done previously. If somebody's already exercising, great. If they're doing 2 to 3 days a week, then I say, well, consistently do 3 to 4. And the goal long term, based on studies showing that people who lose a good amount of weight and keep it off over time, they exercise about an hour a day most days. And that's moderate exercise, that's walking. You don't have to do anything crazy, hot yoga, ultra marathoning, CrossFit, or anything like that. Walking is just fine for that hour a day most days. If you do something more strenuous than that, then you can bring that time down to maybe 40, 30 minutes.
Okay, and part of the diet you said 60 grams of carbs, but you also said when there was a better time to eat carbs than any time during the day. So what would be the best time to have carbs?
Well, with that, you have to understand that your body wants to burn carbs. So if there are carbs there, your body's going to burn those. So what I tell my patients to do is to push the carbohydrates to later in the day. Then when you sleep, your body's going to burn through those carbohydrates. Then when you're up in the morning, when you're the most active, your body's primed to burn the fat reserves. If you add carbs in the morning, your body's going to want to burn those carbs, not the fat. So that's why pushing the carbohydrates to later in the day.
And you had said that not all carbs are created equal. You have the evil white carbs.
That's
and
right.
What are those?
That's right. If it's a carb and it's white, it ain't right. So the white carbohydrates, those are really the simple carbs. So those are the flours, the sugars, so anything made out of the flours and sugars, the breads, the pastas, the baked goods. The starches, peel a potato, it's white inside. Rice is white. And people forget about fruit. Yes, fruits are healthy. But if you peel a banana, it's white inside, and a banana is just chock full of simple carbs. That's why at mile 15 on in marathons, they have all these bananas out there.
So I've been doing good on the diet. I've been staying under the 16 and 1600 and trying to do all that.
Great.
And the first 2 weeks, I lost 12 pounds. And then the next 2 weeks, I only lost 1 pound. So you had said that it was something water weight, your body removes it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and explain, please.
In the first couple of weeks of a nutrition plan, especially a controlled carb plan, your body's going to lose significant amount of fluid. And sometimes when that fluid shifts out, then it sometimes will shift back in. And so if somebody has a pretty significant weight loss in the first couple of weeks, I'm not terribly concerned if their weight loss is a little slower in the next couple of weeks, because knowing just longer term, if you continue on with what you're doing, that's going to catch up and your weight's going to continue to come back down.
Okay, and along with that 2-week weigh-in, I also got the results from my blood test that we did on my initial visit, and my testosterone levels were low. Can you explain what causes your testosterone levels to be decreased?
And in today's world, there's a lot of things that cause testosterone levels to be low. It's our processed food diets. It's the contaminants that are everywhere that can block testosterone production. It's the estrogens that we consume in foods that can block that testosterone as well. And then there's the regular aging as both men and women get older. Women in their mid-20s, men in their mid-30s, their testosterone levels start coming down. So with all of that, that's what all of that comes together to cause testosterone levels to be at lower levels than what's optimal.
And what are the dangers of having low testosterone?
The biggest dangers that we see are really putting you at increased risk for a lot of long-term diseases. Alzheimer's disease, heart disease, and certain cancers are more prevalent if you have lower testosterone levels. Studies show that if your testosterone levels are less than 600, there's just an increased risk of death from all processes. So I'd say the biggest thing is premature death is the biggest danger. But then there are the other sort of nuisance things of low testosterone, as far as just poor mood, energy, and sleep. And while those are nuisance things, they're not going to be harmful in the short term, but can make your life not happy.
I went through the hormone replacement and I had the pellets put in. Can you explain the procedure for putting those in?
Well, the pellet procedure, it's a pretty straightforward procedure. We get our patients up on the table, clean the area off nicely. We do it under a sterile procedure so we don't cause any problems as far as introducing infection. Make a little incision, that's after numbing people up, of course. And then pass the pellets through a little tube. The procedure takes all of about 15 minutes to do.
How long should I expect, or how long before I should expect to feel differently?
Well, typically with the hormone pellets, with testosterone, we see levels start rising in about a week. It takes about a week for your body to form the capillaries around those pellets and to start absorbing the testosterone. So we see the levels start going up in about a week, and then about 4 to 6 weeks is when we see the peak levels. And that's where we check our patients at that point, make sure that we're at the right range, and if not, then we give them a boost if needed, and that's at no added cost because we want to get it right.
Gotcha. And you had explained a different procedure for hormone replacement. I believe it was a cream. Could you explain that a little bit, please?
Sure. In men, there are a couple of different ways to replace testosterone. One other way is by doing the daily creams. That's creams either on the inner thigh, on the abdomen, and we start at a low level and increase because we don't know how well you're going to absorb. And with that, I've had some luck in getting people into the optimal range. Most of the time I'll get them higher than they were, but not quite to optimal ranges. So it all depends on how well you absorb the testosterone, and some people absorb great, some not at all.
Is the timetable the same? You expect 4 weeks before you start to see results?
Well, with the creams, since we don't know how well people are going to absorb, we don't want to overdose people right away. So we do start at a low level and increase. So it could take a few months, 4 to 6 maybe, to get into good levels if we get good levels at all.
All right, thanks, Doc. And I weighed in today. I'm down another 6, so
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And as you know, I'm doing a blog that is going to be on your website, stronghw.com, and it's going to be located underneath the blog section.
Excellent. So, before we close, I would like to invite our friends, past, present, and future, to join us on Facebook. You can also find out more information about all of our healthy living services at stronghw.com. Or you can call us and set up a consultation at 262-373-0169. I'm Dr. Donald Strong, and I look forward to speaking with you all again next week.